guys, my name is Kaylin. I also go by kaycreigh, and I am your coach of the LA Spice, the spiciest draft team there is, and welcome to the quarterfinals of the WBE. Oh my god, that's really cool to say. Anyways, this week we're taking on WolfeyVGC, it's fine, and the D.C. Dracovish, and this is a single elimination sort of situation that we're in, and everything is casual. Today, I am joined by...
See, now we're all too polite to go first now, aren't we?
Yeah, be
rude. So tentative. No, I'm polite.
No, I'm not. Okay, welcome back to another team builder. We haven't actually done one of these in a while. We have been really busy. It was difficult to schedule the games sometimes, and we couldn't find time to record them. But yeah, we're back for the quarterfinals of the playoffs. My name is Barish, also known as VGC, and today we will talk you through the matchup against DC Dracovish, led by Wolf.
Am I allowed to introduce myself as well? That's how it's supposed to work. That was the longest intro ever. Hi, I'm Jamie Boyd. That'll do.
Alright, okay, thanks. Yeah, really interesting fact about this matchup. A lot of trainers have used the transaction window to actually change teams up. And I feel like both LA Spice and DC Dracovish are one of the few teams who haven't done any changes to their rosters. Which is very interesting in my opinion. So it's basically exactly the same matchup as we have talked about previously when we fought him. I think it was week 5 or week 4-ish, one of these. The good thing is we have played him before, he has played us before, so we roughly know what each side would pick for and how they what they would bring, or what they could bring at least. We have brought Comfy last time to great success, I want to say. We had outplayed his safety goggles by going for Hypnosis with Sweet Scent on 2 different Pokemon. Or was it actually 3? Can't remember. I think we had it on Venusaur and on Comfy. I'm not sure if we brought Celestial that week. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Yeah, exactly. So that was one trick, and if you bring that once, it won't work the second time, because instead of goggles, safety goggles, you will go for a Lumberry that covers both Sleep Powder and the Hypnosis. So we couldn't rely on Hypnosis shenanigans any longer, and we had to come up with a different strategy. It was interesting because the first time we faced Wolf, I was actually thinking of the strategy. We tested it, but in the end we decided to go with other Pokemon, or other modes at least. But this time we want to bring PURRLOIN and Ninetales again. Kitty Fox, a combination that we have brought before against Vivid. And a combination that we want to bring this time again to see if we can take advantage of a prankster from PURRLOIN to bring ourselves in a good position. The main things to talk about, of course, DC Dracovish, he actually managed to draft Dracovish. That's one big Pokemon on his team. If he has speed advantage and gets Dracovish in a position where he can either Vicious Rend, or as we've seen last time, just helping an Earthquake, that does super effective damage against Ninetales, Tita, Mawile, a lot of Pokemon there on our team. Other team, he has the Street Crew mode with Scrafty, Mushana, Cavalier, and then he also has Drift Brim and Rillaboom, one mode that he brought last time with a Weakness Policy Rillaboom. It was actually funny, we weren't expecting Rillaboom, we tested against him, but we weren't expecting it, and then he was yeah, you know what? It's not actually what I want to bring, but let's bring Rillaboom and Driftblim for game 1, and then he actually managed to win that game. Switched back to his main mode with Scrafty, Mushana, Escavalier, and Dracovish. Another big thing, we have brought Araquanid last time, with this very special set. It had Protect and then Iron Defense to boost its defense stats. It had Aqua Ring, which you usually don't really see. And Scald. So basically the idea was we Iron Defense boosts our defenses, don't take really any damage from the opposing Pokemon. If they knock off our leftovers, we would just Aqua Ring to have another option to heal. And then Scald to try to get a burn, but I think Kay wasn't super happy to see that. Dracovish was actually managed to like KO itself and not allowing Raikkonen to pick up the KO there.
It never was burned.
Yeah, it was never burnt either. So it wasn't the best time. But Raikkonen like really showed off its strength and like took game 2 for us. We couldn't position it well enough in game 3. But yeah, that was definitely a big threat. So he kind of has to prepare for Raikkonen this time. He can't just like let it like set up and stall him out again. So we spent some time thinking, hey, what could Raikkonen really do here? How could he deal with the Raikkonen, right? How can he prevent us from setting up? Because the way we'll play Raikkonen is having in the back, and then after picking 1 or 2 early knockouts, we'll bring Raikkonen in. Ideally, when Wolf only has physical attackers left, and then start Iron Defense, Aqua Ring, and like slowly chip away with Scald and hopefully fish some burns there as well. So that's the plan. What can he do? He can have special attackers, which in this case is Musharna, Wigglytuff, Drifblim, and Jolteon. Arcanine could be a special attacker, but Raikkonen doesn't really fear a special Arcanine. So it's mainly Jolteon, Musharna, and Drifblim. Musharna, bulky Pokemon, has some special attack, so can deal some damage to that Raikkonen, but it's like rather slow, and we can take like early knockouts on the Musharna to prevent that. Drifblim is another Pokemon that you would probably see as a lead. You could see it as we saw last time with a Grassy Seed, but that's not again a Pokemon that he would probably lead and like doesn't really bring in the back. So if we take the knockout early on Drifblim and then have Raikkonen in the back, that works. And Jolteon doesn't have the best time in this matchup. Like, it's not good against Venusaur Ninetales, it isn't good against Tita. Like, the only real thing it hits is like Raikkonen. You could say that like with a Max Phantasm from Shadow Ball, it's also good against Dusclops, but it's not. So he kind of has to bring it to deal with the Raikkonen, but it doesn't really do well against the rest of the team. I didn't really see any big threat to that Raikkonen, which led to the decision that we will bring leftovers Iron Defense Raikkonen again this week, or like this time against Wolf. But yeah, that's basically the matchup. We have Raikkonen as a late game win option. We have to position it well, and then it's a big threat to his team. Just stalling it out, just has to make sure that it doesn't get crit, but it can take like 1 crit maybe. It's just unlucky if it gets like crit twice in a row or something. Because the Raikkonen just walls all his physical Pokemon basically. And then we have like a very offensive lead with PURRLOIN and Ninetales, which disturbs or like prevents a lot of strategies from him. So this is probably the perfect time to just jump into our team and then let Boyd take over and tell you more about what we came up with.
Yeah, we've pretty much talked about every Pokemon that's coming now at this point. I also, it's way after the fact, but I want to point out that at the beginning of this, I accidentally had Discord open in the corner, and it was a message from me saying, I don't know, I'm tired though. So, cat's out of the bag, so to speak, both with PURRLOIN coming and me being tired. So anyways, yeah, first up, we have River, the PURRLOIN, coming for the second time after she was an absolute monster against Vivid. Prankster, this time we were bringing EV Light, which we can go over the couple reasons why here in a second, with Dark Pulse, Fake Out, Charm, and Thunder Wave.
Yeah, so it's gonna give us some nice damage control because his team is so physical. Having Prankster Charm is hopefully going to really shut him down. It will let Ninetales be able to take something like a Vicious Rend, even if it's double powered as well. So Charm is hopefully going to be the key to victory with this PURRLOIN as well. Thunder Wave is there mainly for things like the Drifblim and the Scarf Dracovish to slow them down, so that they effectively get rid of the Unburden boost and the Scarf, so that Vicious Rend's power won't be doubled as well. And then, yeah, there's Fake Out there in case he wants to go with Musharna Scrafty kind of lead again, so that we can Fake Out before the Scrafty would. If he's got the Rillaboom with Fake Out this time, which he didn't have in the previous game, that still should be EV to outspeed PURRLOIN and would out Fake Out the PURRLOIN, but not the Scrafty. So We can still do that if he's planning to go with Trick Room stuff. And then just Dark Pulse as an attacking move. That's been a couple of different moves. It was foul play for a little bit, but then that's super anti-synergistic with the charm, because, you know, we want to be charming as our main thing, and then if we're foul playing at -6, that's going to do nothing. It was copycat for a little while as well, so that we could reverse Trick Room of the Musharna if he wanted to go with the Trick Room option, but then we realized we could just charm whatever the Trick Room sweeper would be, and then we're sorted anyway, so we don't actually care if Trick Room's up. And it would have technically been a priority attack as well, if the last move used was a useful one, but in practice it was never a useful one. So we just got Dark Pulse there. Reasonable chip damage on the Musharna, and also gives some nice power flinch with the Thunder Wave as well. The opposing Pokemon only has a 60% chance to move if they're Thunder Waved and hit by Dark Pulse, so that could hopefully swing the odds as well. And we've got Eviolite as well instead of the Focus Sash, because something like a Fake Out and a Grassy Glide from Rillaboom would KO a Sash PURRLOIN, and it would be able to out-prioritize the Charm with the Grassy Glide, assuming he's invested in speed as well. So with the Eviolites, and especially because we have Dusclops on the team as well, so we're expecting him not to think that PURRLOIN would be Eviolite because the Dusclops is also on the team. So we'd unexpectedly be able to survive 2 attacks and still be able to Charm in the future, or Thunder Wave or whatever. So hopefully the Eviolite's going to come into play here. Just enough speed to outspeed a Scarf Dracovish after a Thunder Wave, and then just the rest fully into physical bulk.
Yes. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to add, inspiration for PURRLOIN was the Cottony on the Big League's Energy team, which we've seen winning against Wolf. Cottony was just amazing, being able to charm as well, and like basically turning off Escavalier's and Dracovish's damage output there. So that was one big thing to bring, because we don't really have to. The initial idea was having Copycat there, because like Trick Room always goes up last because of its priority. So and then in the next turn in Trick Room, you could use Copycat. It would copy the last used move, and then Wolf doesn't expect the Copycat and doesn't go for like a Helping Hand or anything else that would out-prioritize the Copycat. Then it would just instantly reverse the Trick Room, like it's a prankster Trick Room basically, and the reverse Trick Room would instantly kick on, and like our fast Pokemon would be faster. So initially the idea was having PURRLOIN and then a sweeper next to it that would boost, like Ninetales for example, with Nasty Plot. So you would like fake out Nasty Plot if they set up Trick Room next to it, and you can reverse it with Copycat and then just attack with a +2 Dynamax Ninetales. We initially, then we figured out that we don't really need the Copycat, and he could have some counterplay to it, so we switched out. But yeah, like PURRLOIN, I don't think that he would really expect PURRLOIN in this matchup, but it's doing amazing with like Fake Out, Charm, and Thunder Wave, like amazing options. And then Dark Pulse is just an attacking move to get some damage off, I suppose.
Yeah, she's been really nice and disruptive in practice. That being said, what we're leading next to her is Foxy Spice, so we're doing Kitty Fox again, like Barish said earlier. And with Life Orb, Heat Wave, Scorching Sands, Dark Pulse, and we ended up going with Protect. The fourth move moved a couple times. The plan is basically to max Ninetales turn 1, and one of the things that we've been going for a lot has been the Dark Pulse, like max Dark move, which obviously lowers special attack on the other side of the field, which I think was the thing that tipped the decision to put Dark Pulse on the PURRLOIN as well, because that actually lets her do some respectable damage with the special attack drop on the other side. She's taken down Dracovish a couple times. I'm not going to call her a Dracovish counter, but I'm also not going to not call her that. Yeah.
The Darkness is very nice, because we've got 4 special attackers, so that could come back to bite us if there's like a Snarl Arcanine somewhere, but the Darkness is going to be dropping the special defenses. That means all our damage output is going to be increased. So initially I think the previous Ninetales we brought just had Heat Wave and Scorching Sands as the offensive moves, but yeah, Dark Pulse, being able to hit things like Drift Blim if it wants to go for a Rain Dance, to be able to still hit it for some very good damage, and getting those special defense drops as well. Could set up for a KO, so like if there's the Musharna, we could Darkness the other thing, but then that would put the Musharna into range of a Darkness at -1 special defense as well, so it should be very nice. Almost certainly going to be Dynamaxing Ninetales turn 1 every single game, And yeah, we had nasty plots, like was mentioned before, with the fake outs, a nasty plot against the Trick Room lead, but then that didn't end up working out too well. We had disable it a little bit in case we paralyzed the Dracovish, and then we could disable the Scarf move. But yeah, that was never clicked in practice as well, so might as well just go for Protect to be able to stall things out. Just outspeeding something that would outspeed our Venusaur, because the Rillaboom really does not have any reason to be Jolly Max at this point, so we're just trying to outspeed the optimization that you would assume that Wolf will be going for in the quarterfinals, and then just a tiny bit of HP, and we just want the maximum amount of damage output, especially with the Life Orb, so we just got max special attack.
Yes. And that's her. She's amazing. Next up, we have Plart, who is, always a special Plart, but this week in particular, a very special Plart. She is holding Black Sludge with Sludge Bomb, Substitute, Leech Seed, and Protect. And looking at this, you may be thinking, that strategy seems a little familiar. And why, yes, it is the Plart version of our Shelob, which is kind of how we chose to approach it by sort of having not only one, but two. Do you mind? I'm sorry, Kirby just head bashed my desk. Anyways, take it away, Jamie. I can't.
Yeah, we have effectively two endgame win conditions now. The Araquanid was a very nice one, and Venusaur kind of beats the things that would beat the Araquanid. So if we end up getting rid of all the special attackers and just having physical attackers left, we can win with the Araquanid with Iron Defense. But then if we get rid of the Pokemon and say leave the Jolteon on the field as the last Pokemon, Venusaur can beat the Jolteon, which would have been able to beat the Araquanids. So with all the charm stuff and hopefully taking a few knockouts early at the beginning with the Ninetales, we're hopefully going to be left with Pokemon that can't break either Venusaur or Araquanid, and one of them will end up winning the endgame. And the really nice thing about Venusaur being a poison type, it means we can have Black Sludge and Leftovers on both of the Pokemon we want to be in the endgame as well. So we're going to get that healing with the Black Sludge, especially with the Leech Seed as well. And we only need Sludge Bomb as our attacking move here, because we're just going super bulky, and Sludge Bomb's going to be able to hit the Rillaboom, whereas Leech Seed wouldn't be able to. Things like Escavalier, immune to Sludge Bomb, but completely negligible damage with Giga Drain. So we've gone for Substitute instead, so that we could go for something like Substitute in front of the Musharna, and only take 25% rather than like 60% from the Psychic as well. And that's what the tiny bit of special defense is for as well. Hopefully, we'd be able to survive a Musharna Psychic twice after Leech Seeding it and getting some Black Sludge recovery. We'd be able to Protect to guarantee that we would live, but in a situation where we have to go for like another Leech Seed or a Sludge Bomb, there's going to be a 30-something% chance that the Musharna would be able to two-shot the Venusaur. So that's pretty reasonable odds, and we've got massive physical bulk as well, so we're going to be shrugging off all the hits as well.
Yes. And as we discussed, the absolute rock star Shelob, 25 KO Araquanid coming out here, just rolling it back again with Leftovers, Protect, Scald, Aqua Ring, and Iron Defense. She's just extremely difficult to break through, especially given the beginning of the game where we're going to try and set her up for success. We are Water Bubble again over Water Absorb. I remember last time people were like, why wouldn't you just be Water Absorb for the Dracovish? And there are very few situations when Dracovish would lock into a water move against us, especially because like Psychic Fangs make Curvebert! Anyways, Psychic Fangs makes more sense, especially with Venusaur next to Spider. So I think that the phrase that Jamie used was, it's better to take virtually no damage than no damage.
It's better to take figuratively no damage than literally no damage, so that we can actually do damage back.
Yes.
Because like double damage on our Scald is incredibly significant. Even though this is a defensive build, we still do entirely respectable damage with the Scald. We had the option of going with Leech Life on the Araquanid, but then that damage output is very, very poor, especially if we got into an endgame with something like Escavalier, something that we would wall with the Iron Defense, but then wouldn't be able to do any damage back with the Leech Life. We'd be able to actually win with Scald in that endgame. So Leech Dive would have been nice for the Mushana and the Rillaboom, especially the Mushana, which is a special attacker which can get around the Iron defenses, but Scald actually does damage with the Water Bubbles, so I can't remember what the EVs did. It's exactly the same spread as last time, and I trust my past spreads, so, you know, it does something. I can't remember what it is, but it put in work in practice. I'm pretty sure it survived on 1 HP in practice, so, you know.
It did.
We'll go with that again.
Yes. And the last two, which, I mean, we don't really need to go over because they're, unless by accident, like it happened one time in practice, they're not coming. T-Tar and Clip Clops, who is holding weakness policy.
Yes.
A bulky physical sweeper, a threat. But yeah, this is, like we talked about earlier, the Dusclops is mostly to make him think that there isn't going to be an Eviolite on the PURRLOIN and instead have it be Focus Sash or something. And T-Tar is just scary all the time. But in a cute way. I want to reassure him. You are very cute.
Yeah, like we're going with the same 4 Pokemon each time, so these are just like team preview mind games at this point. Because we brought Comfey and Mawile to the last game, and we didn't bring T-Tar at all, so hopefully T-Tar appearing on Team Preview unexpectedly will hopefully shake things up a bit, and the Dusclops is there to bluff Focus Sash on the PURRLOIN as well, so I'm just pleased that even though it's almost certainly not coming to the game, that we brought Weakness Policy Dusclops twice.
Yep.
Yeah, I was like, I left yesterday for practice, and then I got a message from like, Barish, you left, and Jamie has convinced me to play Weakness Policy again on Dusclops. And I was like, wait a minute, please. Like, for a second, I was like, I tried to figure out what the plan is with Weakness Policy. Like, I didn't know that he
you
just
can still do it. You Dark Pulse yourself with PURRLOIN. It still does it.
Yeah, but overall, I think the only changes... Okay, yeah, we had Mawile over Tita and then Comfey over PURRLOIN. But yeah, we have brought like mostly new sets on the Pokemon we bring. Like PURRLOIN is new anyway. We had Hypnosis on the Ninetales last time that we don't have any longer. And we had like an offensive Venusaur that is now a very defensive one. So we switched things a little bit up. The Rakun is the same, but our strategy in general changed a little bit. We don't want to disturb him at the beginning with like Hypnosis or anything, and we don't want to boost too much. We like just want to ideally pick up early KOs and then have 1 hour to win conditions, how Jamie explained them earlier. And yeah, I'm interested to see what Wolf comes up with. He has been saying in his last few videos that he was like guaranteed for like playoffs anyway, so he didn't like, I don't want to say he didn't try too much, but like he didn't prepare too much. But he was saying in his last video that now he's in playoffs and it's like single elimination. So basically, if you lose, you're out. He wants to like practice really hard and like come up with good plans. So I'm looking forward to see what he came up with. But I want to say that we have a pretty good matchup. And like Kay is just, I don't know, like just playing better than Wolf in this regard. So I'm very positive that we have the upper hand and advance to semifinals.
I'm terrified. I'm so nervous. I've been very nervous all week. Mostly because I'm really enjoying this league and I don't want to be eliminated, but I am excited to play Wolf again. And I'm just saying, y'all, there may be a sequel to the intro that I made last time. So be sure to come to the premiere, be there at the beginning so you can see that. I'm pretty excited about how it turned out. I also want to add, probably one of the last things here, that we did originally have 2 different modes that we were going to bring, and ultimately decided, I think it was Dusclops with Mawile was the mode, and ultimately decided that it would be best for me to be extremely comfortable with one combination of 4 than decently comfortable with 2. So we did just go with these 4, and they've been doing work, and I feel pretty comfortable with them in terms of the matchups that we have practiced against. I am nervous that Wolf is going to do something outlandish, and I'm going to be like, well, pack it up. Just kidding. I won't say that. I will say, how do I win? I've been instructed that should be my mindset now.
Yes, absolutely.
But this is a little bit bittersweet because it could be the last team builder that we do for this league, or we could go on. If it is, thank you guys so much for doing this. The team builders have been so fun, and I enjoy the dynamic and practice and whatnot. So hopefully we can do it again next week. But if not, thank y'all.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a very fun adventure so far. And now we'll get serious, so I'm looking forward to not having to argue with Boyd about what memes we're bringing anymore. It's more like...
Hey, I still managed to sneak one in, even though it's not coming to the match.
I know.
It's true.
Maybe we should, instead of is Tita good in team preview? Maybe, because Tita and Dust Clubs, I can see Dust Clubs having some, irritation or, confusion in the team preview, but maybe we should bring, Regina, or Fungus. I don't know. They're not really good in this matchup, but maybe he gets
Changing the plan?
This is literally the end of the team builder, Barish.
Yeah.
We've got the teams out.
We thought it was bad last night when we were practicing for the last time, and he was like, "Okay, I have a plan." No idea.
No, you just said it's the last time, so I felt like, oh wait, do I have any more ideas that I want to bring in before it's literally the last time? No, I believe in the spies, and we will advance. I'm pretty sure.
I'm gonna hope so. That being said, y'all should absolutely check the description below. Go follow everyone in the front office. They have been amazing throughout this entire journey, and they also do really cool things on their own. And you should do it. Anyways, yeah, I think that's about all that I have to say.
Oh yeah, I was supposed to say one more thing. Watch out. Tune back in next week for more shenanigans.
Close enough.
Close enough?
Didn't even say goodbye though.
Oh, yeah.
That's the bye.
Goodbye.